Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of January 22, Wednesday. I am Royce Cignal. Kicking off today's rush with the health department closely monitoring a 5-year-old Chinese boy suspected to be the first carrier of the new coronavirus in the Philippines. Greg Gregorio reports.
A 5-year-old kid from Wuhan, China, who traveled to the Philippines via Cebu, is now the subject of a probe by the health department. Upon arriving last January 12 with his mother, the child already exhibited flu-like symptoms linked to the new type of coronavirus.
To make arrangement to study English in Cebu. And they will be going back after the arrangement had been made.
The patient remains isolated as his colds and cough persist. The kid tested negative for the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus or MERS-CoV and the Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome or SARS. His samples, however, tested positive for a different type of coronavirus. The kid's specimen has been sent to Australia for further testing.
Since we have a new or a novel coronavirus now, probably there needs to be more specific tests to identify the strain.
The Quarantine Bureau had also traced the kid's co-passengers on the plane, at least those who were closely seated to him. No one displayed flu-like symptoms. The Bureau will meet with airlines Wednesday to discuss precautionary measures.
We will be issuing the audio regarding this virus that passengers who are experiencing flu-like symptoms like cough should report to the Bureau of Quarantine upon arrival.
Meanwhile, 3 Chinese nationals in Kalibo Aklan, initially suspected of carrying the virus, have already been cleared by the DOH.
The signs and symptoms did not fit the case definition as prescribed by the WHO's interim guidelines on the new coronavirus.
According to the World Health Organization, those with a travel history in Wuhan, believed to be the virus's ground zero, should inform their clinicians.
At this point of time, you don't need to be anxious unless you have traveled to Wuhan. That's what it points to.
Health Secretary Francisco Duque sees no reason to declare a travel ban on China and even assured readiness to deal with the novel coronavirus. For now, the public are advised to wash their hands frequently and cook their food properly. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
President Duterte obtained a fresh record high in his satisfaction rating according to the social weather stations. The fourth quarter SWS survey saw Duterte's satisfaction score at plus 72. That's up 7 points from his rating in September and higher than his previous record high mark of plus 68 during the second quarter of last year. Duterte's satisfaction score stayed at very good with a plus 66 rating in Metro Manila and Balanced Luzon, while in Visayas and Mindanao, his satisfaction mark remained at the excellent range. At least half of the respondents are expecting Duterte to fulfill all or most of his promises, while 7 out of 10 surveyed Filipinos say they are worried about his state of health. Duterte, on the other hand, remains firm in his demand of a good, clean soldier image among the country's uniformed personnel. During a Philippine Military Academy alumni event, the president reminded the PMAers to keep each other in check and uphold the integrity of the institution. Recall that the academy was rocked by a hazing scandal last year.
The image of both the Philippine Military Academy and the Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated is only as good as the image that each one of you projects to the public. Once kalawag among you can destroy or dent that image and reputation of every PMAyer, your alma mater and your association included. Make use of your moral ascendancy. Police your own ranks. You owe it to the academy that nourished you.
President Duterte may be heading to the U.S. despite a ban on officials that had a hand in the detention of opposition Senator Laila de Lima. Palace spokesman Salvador Panelo says Duterte may go since the invitation from Washington was for the U.S.-ASEAN Special Summit. Panelo insisted that the so-called travel ban won't be a problem for Duterte's visit, since it would be the discretion of the executive whether or not to implement such measure. Palace added that after all, it was Trump who issued the invite in the first place. After water concession deals, the president is now looking into the agreement between the Ayala Group and the University of the Philippines. Panelo says there may be reason to revisit the contract with the estimated government losses that come with it.
Definitely lugi ang gobyerno dito.
Okay.
Can you imagine 20 less pesos per square meter? I've been told by many businessmen, sila nga daw, 500 pesos per square meter, nagba 200 pesos. Titingnan natin kung totoo kasi you have to look at the contract. Even assuming, kasi meron na silang statement, yun ang sinasabi nila.
Opo.
Pag ganyan, kailangan siguro magkaroon ng pagbabago ng terms dito.
With just 2 years left to the Duterte government, officials took time to trumpet some accomplishments. However, some critics and even supporters think the presented statistics are somewhat confusing, if not straight out wrong. Here's the report.
The Presidential Communications Group launched Friday what they branded as the Duterte Legacy, which lists the administration's accomplishments since 2016. The launch generated a lot of buzz, mostly from quarters criticizing and questioning the data presented by the PCOO, even including some of the president's supporters.
So it's a branding thing.
Yeah.
It's a PR thing.
Of course.
Right in the middle of Taal's eruption.
Well, yun nga yung problem. Yun nga yung problem is that maybe it was ill-timed because syempre, what we know about the president is that he does not micromanage. I think the PCOO should clarify this matter. Okay. Because clearly, it has been lost in translation. Because meron silang Duterte legacy, but there should be something because it's still freaking 2 years away.
For Attorney Bruce Rivera, there is no question that the administration accomplished a lot in the past 3 years. But he believes when it comes to highlighting successes, timing is everything.
Personality-wise, he doesn't want to be adulated and stuff like that. He actually hates that.
Rivera sat down with the chiefs together with Ibon Foundation's Sunny Africa. Africa's group is known for analyzing government data, and they are questioning some of the figures in the Duterte legacy presentation.
There's no problem coming up with figures to justify what you've done. But the problem is, you want to present figures that are actually factual and actually mean something.
Aside from the issue on airports and alternative learning system that were questioned by netizens, Ibon Foundation had qualms about the employment and poverty data.
The impression it gives is it created 4.2 million jobs for people who were otherwise not working. But the thing is, even that figure, it's brazenly wrong. Because in the whole economy, in the whole construction industry, it was actually 4.15 million employed in the whole construction industry as of 2019. So it doesn't make sense. But again, they're going to throw that out there, then go on a propaganda campaign saying, build people, create the jobs.
Attorney Rivera thinks the PCOO simply needs to rebrand its program and that they should rethink using the word legacy at a time that the president is still in the thick of working on his administration's various programs. Jovi Francisco, We Are One News.
Vice President Leni Robredo visited Tuy, Batangas on Tuesday as part of her relief efforts for the residents affected by the Taal volcano's unrest. Aside from relief items from her Angat Buhay partners, including pillows, mats, and hygiene kits, Robredo also personally served a special merienda for the residents.
Saka dito po nagsasandok tayo ng Leni Lugaw na special, saka po mga pandesal. Ayan po, pinangalanan po ng staff namin yung pinapamigay namin.
Despite the repeated warnings from FIVOLCS, Talisay Vice Mayor Charlie Natanawan continued to challenge the agency's findings. Natanawan is still insisting that his constituents be allowed to return to their homes, but the DILG only has one advice for the residents of Talisay.
Ay kung mangyari man yon at ang atin may puro opinion, haka-haka, kung mangyaring pumutok ng malakas yan, nandito ako, namatay sila, namatay ako, wala na sila makakasuhan, patay na kami lahat. Kumain na ako kahapon. Lahat ng tao ko rito, wala kaming maiulam. Nagpakuha ko din sa dagat. Kinain na namin yung talapia. Wala, hindi totoo yun na pinalalalaang ng media at saka ng Philbox. Sa halip na kami hikayatin na pagdating ng panahon, ibababa din ho yan. Hindi yung malakas yung putok, ay kumbaga sa mga bata ay parang binubuli ang buong taga Batangas. Mali ho yun.
You just ignore him. After all, he's a public official and he is accountable for his statements.
But the DILG is not the only one going against Vice Mayor Natanawan. Filipino Star ngayon reports that even Calabarzon Police Director Vicente Danao Jr. has also spoken up about the official's remarks. Danao said that Natanawan will be held liable if anything dangerous happens to the residents of Talisay who returns to their homes. In fact, Danao added that if ever this happens, he will personally offer the vice mayor alive to the Taal volcano. The Agriculture Department is offering to temporarily buy the livestock of farmers affected by the Taal volcano eruption. Pangmasa notes that the DA will be buying the animals at half of their market value, which the owners can then retrieve after the calamity. In this way, the farmers will not be anxious to return to their homes, which are part of the 14-kilometer danger zone set by Philbox. The Sandigan Bayan has dismissed the graft and usurpation charges against former PNP Chief Alan Purisima and former SAF Director Getulio Napeñas Jr. in connection to the 2015 Mama Sapano massacre. The Philippine Star reports that the order to dismiss the charges came 5 months after the anti-graft court approved the motion of the Office of the Ombudsman seeking to withdraw similar cases filed against former President Noynoy Aquino. Sandigan Bayan says appropriate charges can still be filed against the accused. Motorcycle taxis live to see another day. That's after the technical working group backpedaled on its decision to terminate the pilot run of motorcycle ride-hailing apps. Gerard de la Peña tells us why.
It's still a go after all. The technical working group on motorcycle taxis has reversed course. Chairperson Antonio Garjola said in an interview that the pilot run will continue, much to the relief of commuters.
Kung tatanggalin kasi nila, lagi kami maiipit sa traffic. Tapos hindi naman convenient yung transpo natin dito. Lalo na yung MRT, always siksikan. Tapos laging nasisira, laging nagkakaberya.
The technical working group, tasked by the Department of Transportation to look into motorcycle taxi operations, previously said they would like to end the pilot run. But some senators, including President Pro Tempore Ralph Recto and Grace Poe, slammed the move, calling it an act of revenge. Several congressmen also took a swipe at the TWG, citing competition issues and lack of alternatives.
Lumalabas na ang Angkas ay pwedeng potentially na maging effective competitor ng Grab. Ang makikinabang dyan ay Grab.
Ang kawalan ng mass transportation ay pinuna nitong mga angkas or yung mga motorcycle taxi. Ay dapat nga tumulong ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno na magkaroon ng comprehensive solution dito, no? Napaka-abrupt, no, ng kanilang desisyon.
But Transportation Assistant Secretary Alberto Swansing clarified that it's still up to the Congress if the pilot run stays.
We defer that, yung decision to either proceed or not, after the hearing bukas sa Congress na nagbigay buhay doon sa pilot program.
He also said that lawmakers will decide on the enactment of motorcycle taxi operations into law.
Ang aking pakiusap, magantay po kayo na maging batas itong motorsiklo na pwedeng gamitin as taxi. Ginagawa namin trabaho namin para magawa ng paraan kung paano yan maayos na magiging batas.
Aside from the Wednesday hearing in Congress, the TWG is also set to hold meetings with stakeholders and the 3 motorcycle providers participating in the study to iron out concerns regarding the program. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. For Riza Diaz, I am Royce Snagit. We are One News.